All right, what's poppin', people? You know who it is. It's Xzavier Antonio, and we are here for another In Conversation podcast where we keep amazing people in conversation and try to share their journey with you. Today, we have the amazing, wonderful Shessa, and we're just going to stick with that because she's a lot, you know. She's a vibe, she's a guide, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's a lot of powerful and amazing descriptions. Okay. Yes. Shessa, how you doing today?
I am great. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm elated to have you here, to be with you again. The first time I was with you was on a podcast show with the Shine Your Light podcast with Lachelle Hooks. Shout out to Lachelle. If it was not for that opportunity, who knows
Amen
if we
to
would have
that.
met.
Yes.
And this is definitely a powerful union, I would say.
Agreed.
Because we're starting on a journey together, professional journey together, a family-like journey together. So many amazing things that you just bring to the table because you're just
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Dope. You know what I mean? Can't even put you in a box.
You really can't.
Yeah.
And I've been trying. I really am trying for my business branding purposes. But it's really hard. It is. Even though it's all connected, it's definitely hard to put it in a box. And I don't like being in a box, so I'm right where I belong.
Yeah, and you don't need to necessarily be in a box, but definitely I get that part of business where when you can have multiple things, and even though they're all connected, you know there's an audience specifically for this. Mm-hmm. There's an audience specifically for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think what it boils down to is time, energy, money. How much time, energy, and money do I need to invest to reach this audience and to reach that audience?
Agreed,
and so it's quite a bit to navigate. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
But I think you got this. You know what I mean?
It's the passion that push it. I think that make it a little easier. It make it less work, more fun. Mm-hmm. So when it's fun, it don't seem as time consuming. You actually get lost. I get lost in it a lot of days.
Yeah, because this is stuff that you love, that you care about. And so let's just kind of get right into that right away. You know what I mean? Who is She's a Vibe, and what all do you do? Let's talk about
Okay, so let's start with She's a Vibe. That was the first one. She's a Vibe for customization. I actually customize apparel, clothes, shoes, party favors, something like this. I did bring this to show. Okay. So this is one of the things that I created. I take around to let people know exactly what I do. Yeah. This was just a sweater that I created. It was all white, like this. And I basically created the design in a couple of programs that I used and placed it on the actual shirt itself.
Yeah, that is very detailed. I really like that.
I love that.
And again, what does it say? I'm a part of the family.
This was for my daughter's graduation, actually. It's a proud family of the 2023 All-Star grad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she loved basketball and soccer, so I definitely took the theme and ran with it for her with her colors.
Well, congratulations to her.
Yes, congratulations, my baby in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
Last of the Mohicans.
So it's custom designs, you know, and there's so many different things that can get customized, and I really had no idea.
Yes.
My daughter's mom, I walked into her bathroom one day, and she has an 11-year-old daughter. And she had like the shower curtain was,
yeah.
and I don't think this is stuff that she had custom made. I mean, it may have been. I never asked, but this could have been stuff that she just ordered. The bathroom mat, you know what I'm saying, matched, and I think it was like some type of Barbie doll cartoon character.
It could have been customized though. Yeah, but nowadays.
But when I met with you and I saw some stuff that you had on social media, and I was like, oh. That's probably what they did.
You put two and two together. A lot of people don't think it could be done in home. They always think factories, manufacturers, stuff like that, where a lot of these small businesses are capable of doing just this, whether it's in their home or a small area that they've warehoused out or whatever the case may be. You don't need the huge machinery that we would think you would need to complete this. In this last 50, 60 washes, I've washed it probably about 6 or 7 times. No color change. Quality is there. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. And so if you guys are looking for a customization, She's a Vibe is who you may want to contact. So y'all make sure y'all follow her for those type of things. And not only do you do this as a passion, but you have another passion, which is to, and I'm just going to say serve, to help, to push, and to educate.
Yes,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure.
So you've taken your skill set with this with Customizer, but also just in business in general, and turned it into a coaching service.
Yes.
And this is where we get the She's a Guide from.
Yes, that's where She's a Guide come into play. Basically, I was helping a lot of people, but my reach wasn't that big, so I wanted to be able to reach more people on the business side as well as the creatives. You see a lot of at-home passion to profit businesses where they're struggling because they're not familiar with that business side. They have the talent, but they get frustrated because they don't know how to find the people that they need to reach, or how to even I guess you would say minimize the people that they want to reach. Get that target audience is the word that I should have used. Or they don't know how to guide themselves to actually build up that revenue, or where to buy products to save so that you have more money to invest into bigger products. Stuff like that, where if you love what you do, you don't care about that side. So I saw a lot of businesses closing after COVID started ending, or it's still going, but slowed down, should I say. I saw a lot of businesses closing because they were frustrated. And I wanted to sort of fulfill that. It was a lot of groups to help you build your passion at that point, but it wasn't too many that went into depth about business. It was just a touch basis. One of the stories I tell people is I was in one of those groups. That's exactly where I started, looking for guidance. Excuse me. When it came to passion and profit. And I was told to get a sales use tax. So I got a sales use tax. I found later on, when I actually started branching away from said group and doing the research myself, that I actually didn't need that I ended up basically charging people taxes and having another obligation, is what I would call it, under my belt to go pay something or repay something, so that I wouldn't be penalized when I actually had to make a certain amount of money in my business before I actually needed that. So it was a lot of spoken things about business that I wanted to clarify. So She's a Guide came.
And in almost any business, like I said, we are people who we have the talent. We know what we want to do. We think about, like, man, this can impact lives, this and the other. I can help people. I can make some money, blah, blah, blah. But then it's just that business side. A lot of times it's complex. We didn't grow up in homes most of the time where our parents was teaching us about whether it's financial literacy, whether it's, business intelligence, and
investing, banking, not saving,
credit, all of that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of different things just as an entrepreneur that you have to go through. And so whether a person wants to do custom design, or maybe they got a different type of business, the type of things that you've been through, you're able to take that and help people find their way. Not necessarily to say that there's a specific blueprint.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? But you can help people, help guide people. And one of the things that I've also learned about you is, like, you like to work with people in groups. Like, some part of you is just in love with the idea of community and family and togetherness.
I'm stuck on it. That's like huge for me. Whether it be, I don't believe in the family that God gave you is the only family you have. I'm huge on creating a circle. One of the biggest things I've learned personally is my family is a little different than I am. We do have similarities, but those differences, throughout just being around my family, I started to shield those differences. I started to suppress them because it made me feel different. Versus I feel like if I was around different people like I am now, I don't feel so hesitant to say how I feel if it's opposed to somebody else, because I understand that it's okay. It's okay to be different. But when we're in our families, that's hard to do. You see everybody doing the same thing. So it's sort of like I saw someone say on Facebook the other day, I feel like I abandoned my child version of who I would have been if I was around different people and saw different aspects, to realize that it was nothing wrong with what I felt just because it was different.
That's crazy. I mean, and I never really thought about this because I've heard that before about, there was a guy he was on a podcast, and several people have talked about how they felt like they abandoned their child, version of themselves. I definitely
did. Now that I'm coming where I am now, I definitely did.
And at some point as an adult, I guess it just becomes our responsibility, because even when you think about being a child, in most cases, parents, especially fathers, if they're active, there's not a lot of people who are nourishing and protecting the child in you when you are a child. If anything, they're trying
pushing
to
you out of it.
You're right. They're trying to prepare you for your adulthood and what it's going to be like when you become grown and when you're on your own type of thing. Yes. It's like everybody prepared me to be an adult and nobody prepared me or nourished the actual child. So now as an adult, now I learned all these adulting things. Now I got to go back and heal the kid that everybody abandoned. I wasn't the first person to abandon this kid.
Technically you are, because I feel like even as a business owner, accountability is huge. As an entrepreneur, you have to hold yourself 1,000% accountable. I don't care what the situation may be. Hold yourself accountable first, because that allows you to self-reflect. And when you realize that, oh, okay, well, I wasn't the end of be all, you still have that self-reflection that you've passed through your brain. So you still went through that process of, at least I know how I can stop this from happening, even if it's somebody else's end of be all. If you know this person is going to be late and you blame yourself instead of that person, you may not have that person come back next time you need to depend on them. Versus blaming them, it causes that wedge. It's easy to get into it with people just being them. This is just who that person is. And that was a huge thing for me, because I felt like if you weren't being me, then it's something that I had to fear. It's the unknown but when you allow yourself to be you wholeheartedly, it's so easier for you to allow other people to be them. And with that comes growth. With that comes understanding. With that comes friendships, and with that become family.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got about 2 more questions for you. One is about She's a Vibe, and then one is about She's a God. She's a Vibe. When customers or potential leads come to you because they're looking for a design, you know, there's one thing to want the product and the end results, but what may be, do you think is probably what people want most, or that you pride yourself on making sure that you give people, or even, you know, what is your approach to providing that service to a person?
Detail matter. I am an accountant by trade, so details are everything for me. So details. I love, if a client don't call me and say, hey, I didn't even notice something about my design. It's bothersome to me. And I've had it 2-3 years later. Like, I'm real picky with the littlest things on my design that you could say is unique. I pride myself on doing 100% of my graphics. Am I a expert graphic designer? I am not. I don't claim to be nothing that I am not. But do I have the skills and the understanding of those softwares to be able to get them to do what I need them to do? Yes. Yes. A lot of it is self-taught. A lot of it is Google. There's a little post that we saw the other day. I feel like I started She's a Guy simply because people felt like it was easier for me to research. So I applied that to everything. I've been applying that to everything since high school, college, the same way. Just looking into it myself. It's something about me saying that I did it 100%.
Of me.
That's me all day. You can't take that from me. It's just something about it. And the customers, them calling like, I can't believe you even put that in there. That's exciting to me. That's what I look for in gifts, I guess. So I try to give that to every single customer that comes to me. And in that, what I hear from that, of course, you know, paying attention to detail, not just paying attention to it, but including detail in what you're creating that might even surprise the customer. But what I hear most in that is you care about this thing for the customer. For sure.
You know?
I need them to like I need them to love it. Like, that's my normal text to customers. Don't tell me you like it. Tell me you love it. If you don't love it, we going back to the drawing board.
Because I've had clients, not many, who have had a complaint or issue with anything that I produced for them, video wise, graphic wise, or anything like that. But there's been a couple occasions in my journey where a person was upset that it wasn't like this or that it wasn't like that. And I remember what I got used to telling people is, you know, first of all, I cared about this for you. At the end of the day, like when a
my
person,
passion was behind this. I put my heart in this.
When they start talking crazy or they that upset, like, listen, wait a minute, before we go there, because I can go there with you, but before we go there, let me remind you that the price I gave you and the amount of time I put in for you, even if it's not everything you wanted it to be, I cared about this. Not for me, but for you.
The way you spoke about it, it should be being mindful. And artists are very sensitive about their work.
Yeah, so we're typically, you know, whenever I had if there was ever issue, we're typically able to get, you know what I'm saying, like back on track with things.
Yes, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, because a lot of times I think people they want the result. They want the result, and sometimes you have to, as the person producing it, you have to remind them, I care about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even take on
and pull it out of
projects.
Honestly,
like if I don't care about you or what you accomplishing your thing, I don't even get involved in it. You know what I'm saying?
Or if it's something that I just don't, you know, it's against my core values. It's a no for me. It's not the money. It's never been about the money. I want to say this loud and clear. I still work my 9 to 5 because I don't want it to be about the money. I've been in that position. I did this for 3 years, not working at all. And you get to a point where you want to select your clients. You want to select the type of people you deal with. And you can't really do that when you're in a position of feeling like this is a form of income. So in order for me to find a peace within my customers, I went and got a 9 to 5 again. I still work at home, so it's perfect where I can be at work for 30 minutes, go and work on my business for 30 minutes or an hour. It's perfect for me. So I am blessed and highly favored in that manner where I have had those options to do that. But I would tell any entrepreneur, if you are starting out, don't let the hype about leaving your 9 to 5 set you up for the stress of customers you do not want to deal with. Because you will be in that position, and it is not a good position.
You definitely better make sure it's God or something, you know, because what I do now, full time, focusing solely on Courtier House. Now, I've never been really fond of 9 to 5s, but you know,
I agree. I definitely agree with that still.
Yeah, when I worked at We Energies, I loved making that $27 an hour. You know what I mean?
My 9 to 5 is sort of growing me and my business too. I'm very calculated with 99% of the things I do. Whether people see it or view it that way, I am. My job is helping with my growth. I had an issue with being stern. Putting my foot down, of setting boundaries with people who I felt customer, friend, or client. So when I got my job, and my job is customer service too, so a lot of it is learning technology. So that's a good thing where it's getting me to advance in a field that I'm technically already using to grow my business. So most people are like, how do you know all this? I've been a computer nerd since I was a kid. My family almost pushed me away from that, but I'm back. I'm back, and I'm back reading. That was something that I loved doing as a kid too, where I sort of got pushed away from that because 13-year-olds in the house reading type of scenario, where now I could read all day long if I want to, and I'm comfortable there. I educate myself on a regular basis. That's my comfort zone. Mental stimulation is peace for me.
Now, last question. This is more about She's a Guide. And what are some of the tools that you make available to some of your students and community during your process of, you know, teaching them, coaching them, helping them out?
Okay. So right now, actually, August 19th, we have a group session on Canva for Business. Canva is a software that a lot of businesses are using. Look it up, canva.com. We actually are running an hour-and-a-half session, morning and afternoon, to teach you business with Canva, how to create content, bulk content, how to set your branding kit up. Branding is a huge thing where you want all of your content to sort of speak for your brand without you having to speak for it all the time. So we'll go over the brand kit, how to bring in your fonts, how to bring in your logos, how to build content quickly, and how to build brand templates so that all these social media platforms that you're trying to run are not stressing you out. It's a good 10, 20 minutes that you're creating content, another 30 minutes planning it, and you're good to go for about a month. I've done it before. So we'll do that August 19th. That will be on Zoom. You can go to my She's a Guide on Facebook, and you can look that up, or www.instructorshe'saguide.com to get those tickets. We also order workbooks.
Look at me. Look at the camera.
We also order workbooks. I have noticed throughout my entrepreneur journey that I am a self-starter, so I don't want to pay somebody a huge amount of money to teach me stuff when I would prefer to just look over something and teach myself, watch some videos, and I'll get it really quick. What I did notice is people were putting a lot of videos out with nothing to back that up, nothing to help the client retain that information. Right. It was just a video, simple as no system added to it or anything. So we decided to bring out a system that would allow you to self-teach while still being helped by me, myself, and my team, along with being able to be around like-minded people that's specific to that particular topic. So we did have a couple of workbooks. I'm not going to go too in-depth, but you can check them out on Amazon and our website. Right now we have 3 available. One is for learning how to do overseas vendors, communicating with Alibaba, AliExpress. The other one is branding. That's a huge topic. It goes through everything: how to complete your brand story, how to start your how to get your logo and your fonts and your colors for your branding. And the last one is Infinity. So that's more of a creative side. We offer creative in business sessions. So definitely check us out. We got a lot to offer, and we're ready to help the community grow.
Absolutely. That part, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great time, very informational and fun conversation.
Yes, I enjoyed this.
There's so many things that just as entrepreneurs we relate on, we connect on, or we could talk about, just all of that. And I look forward to just being able to dive more and more into these dialogues, conversations, get to know you more.
Yes.
But also it's a challenge to me as well, because it's like you're giving me an opportunity to get it inside view into the world or realm, you know what I'm saying, of design.
Craziness.
So like
this craziness that I love.
Yeah, it's gonna be real good. Ladies and gentlemen, help us to keep She's a Vibe in conversation by subscribing, by sharing, by
support
following
is free.
her.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Hashtag support on purpose, hashtag engage on purpose, and all of that kind of stuff. So again, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Anytime, and thank y'all for tuning in.
Peace. I don't know why I did that.